Frank, we actually have never played against before.
Like we have been like riding for Channel Fireball together for so long and like seeing each other at the European Grand Prix circuit, but I don't recall we ever played either. I'm excited to get this match underway.
Welcome to the Cardmarket feature match where we play paper magic against each other and your decks.
Well, actually, it's not us. We invited some special guests for this episode today, and you can guess it. We brought him back. It's Andrea Mengucci, and we also have special guest Frank Karsten, Hall of Famer Frank Karsten, against Mythic Invitational winner Andrea Mengucci. Actually, the first time they ever played.
Yeah, first time. They've never played against each other.
No.
This is a momentous match. We're playing Modern today. They both brought a deck that they think they can win with. They don't know what each other are playing, but we all know what Frank Karsten likes to play. Before we get into it, it's a lot of effort to bring in like big guests like this and fly them over and have them play against each other and make these videos. So if you do appreciate it, if you came here for the first time because you wanted to see Frank Karsten sling some spells and you're not subbed, if you click that sub button, you'll see a bunch of Frank Karsten and a bunch of Andrea Mengucci in the next month. So please do that if you're not yet. It costs you nothing. And in the meantime, let's get into the match. I'm excited.
Alright, welcome Cardmarket. It's always me, Andrea Mengucci. I'm here all the time now. I'm playing Modern, I love Modern, and I'm playing 5-color Indomitable Creativity. This is my personal take on the list. Sometimes you see people playing with Persist and Shadow Prophecy. I don't like that. I think that is a little bit too clunky. I prefer Teferi. I think Teferi is an outstanding card in this deck. It protects your combo. Teferi is just a great card against Cascade decks and things like that. Plus, I changed the mana base a little bit. No more Roguery Triumph, Ziatora's Proving Ground, but instead Jetmir's Garden, Xander Lounge. In this case, I'm able to get white and blue on 2 different lands. It might seem like a small thing, but it actually improves your mana base a lot. Let's go.
I'm Frank Karsten and I like playing red aggro decks. In Modern, I'm playing Burn. So I'm trying to punish everyone who relies on these painful fetch shock mana bases. I will be trying to go turn 1 Goblin Guide, attack you down to a low life total, and then I will try to collect as many burn spells as possible to reduce my opponent's life total to 0 quickly and fiery. That's just the way I like to play Magic.
Once again, let's roll higher with 5 dice. So there's 0 chances of a tie, right?
Small. That's
Small chances of a tie. Let's do it. 17.
correct.
Wow, that's not 17.
No, that is way higher. 23 if I count correctly.
Okay, unfortunately you're in the place.
Yep. Well, good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun. 7.
My opening hand is just excellent. 2 lands is ideal for the deck. I have a creature to play on turn 1, even a follow-up creature, and a bunch of burn spells that effectively all do the same thing in my deck. Deal 3 damage to the opponent. Perfect. I'll keep.
Here we are, lost the dog roll, Archon of Cruelty in my hand, just the things that you don't want to do. But I have Renaissance, Teferi, Fable, Leyline Binding. This hand is fine, I can't mod. Hand is great.
Well, then you should keep it.
Yeah, but maybe not against specifically Frank Karsten decks.
I am known for playing some aggro decks. That is true.
That's okay, you can go.
Yeah. Well, let's go. Tapped and attacking into the red zone, just the way I like it.
All right.
Monastery Swift Spear puts you at 19.
Okay, that's a...
Go ahead.
It could be literally every... Okay. I am going to shock myself.
I like the sound of that.
And
17.
pass the turn.
All right. Time for another Swift Spear.
Okay.
And yeah, attack you with both pass priority.
I'll bolt one.
Yep, that works.
Pick one.
No other effects, yeah.
16.
Yep. I'll fetch.
For 1 damage.
So get mountain. Yeah, I'm down to 19.
19.
And I'll suspend Rift Bolt.
Okay.
That's in time before the fairy can even come down. Go.
With my Blood Crypt.
Well, I have an inkling of what you're playing.
Go. Naya.
Yeah.
Naya Triumph.
Alright, Rift Bolt, you.
13.
And 2,
Yeah.
So this, Skewer the Critic, you.
10.
So this is currently a 3/4. Yeah, why not? Lightning Bolt, you. This is the way Magic is supposed to be played. how Richard Garfield intended it. Lightning bolt to the face.
7, 3. What? No. All right, now my hope is that you
I'll play
flood
Fire
out.
Island. Go.
That's gonna happen for sure. Very likely.
Well, you're at 3 against a deck filled with lightning bolts.
Yeah,
and light
what can go wrong, right? Your turn. No. Don't. What's that?
Yeah, I'll obscure you.
Yeah. All right, Frank killed me badly. I barely played one card in that game, but honestly, that's how it goes against Burn. This deck is not good against Burn. When you play 5 colors, it's definitely tough. But post-sideboard, I have a lot of tools. I go up to 6 counter magic for 1 mana. Blossoming Calm is the best tool against Burn because it can gain you up to 7 life. Because what happens is that they play like Lava Spike, you Blossoming Calm, basically counter the Lava Spike, gain 2 life, and then the next upkeep you gain 2 life again, and they can't Lava Spike in the next turn. And then they Turn the Earth. So Turn the Earth is an interesting choice. Some people play Leyline of the Void, some people play Rest in Peace. I think that Turn the Earth is not only good against like Living End and maybe Breach, also against Burn, because gaining 2 life, 4 life with the Flashback, I think is good enough. And curious to see how it works. Boseiju is great against Eidolon because it's a way to kill Eidolon without taking 2 damage, which is a big deal. Leyline Binding already does that, but I want more. Cards to remove. I'm gonna take all 4 of Ren and 6. As you saw in the game 1, Ren and 6 is just not good in this matchup. They have all X2s and obviously do not need a late game with extra fetch lands, and you might not want to shock to play it, so I'm gonna remove them. Same thing with Fable. Fable is great, we all know that, but this matchup is low, plus he has Searing Blaze, maybe Searing Blood to kill my token and deal me damage, so I prefer to just counter his plan of burning me with counter spells, play Teferi, and then safely combo.
So for sideboarding, I'm boarding out the Lightning Helix because I don't really care about my life total in this matchup. And I'm also boarding out a few Rift Bolts because they can be pretty awkward against the Teferi Time Raveler, right? If it's suspended and Andrea would have a Teferi on the battlefield, then I cannot cast it off of Suspend. Boarding in, I have Searing Blood, which is pretty much additional copies of Searing Blaze. That is super efficient against Fable of the Mirror Breaker or the Dwarf tokens that this deck is so reliant on. It's kind of a new addition to the sideboard I had that I hadn't really seen in many burn lists, but I like it, and I think the metagame has so many small creatures in Modern right now that it's worth to have effectively extra copies of Searing Blaze in your sideboard for those matchups. The other card that I'm really excited about, which I added as just a one-off to my sideboard, is Orvar, the All Form. Kind of sweet deck that emerged in the last few weeks against Indomitable Creativity, which has become a really big part of Modern, because if the opponent gets out Archon of Cruelty, they force you to discard, which means that Orvar will trigger and can make a copy of the Archon. So that's one of the best answers, highly specific, but it will beat these Indomitable Creativity decks very nicely. I hope to draw it.
Game number 2. This time, thankfully, I'm on the play, so I get to live my 4th turn, probably, hopefully.
Maybe you'll get to cast a second spell.
Yeah, I guess once. I begin. I would love my previous hand, honestly. I think my previous hand was great on the play. Okay, I keep this hand. This hand is really good. I'm on the play. I can go Fetchland turn 1 for Nihil Triumph, Fetchland turn 2 for Grixis, paying 1 mana for Leyline Binding. On turn 3, I'm gonna probably draw land to play Teferi, and then on turn 4, safely combo with my Dwarven Mine. I am very, very excited about this hand.
Okay, I'll keep. Okay, I'm really trying hard to contain my excitement here. In fact, I'm gonna try to sigh and downplay my hand so that Andrea doesn't pick up on it. Just trying to represent a mediocre hand, but I'm really excited to have this Orvar in my opening hand. Are we gonna see this?
All right, a lot of sides from your side. Let's go.
Yep.
Ostenmeyer, your turn.
All right, here is what the life of a burn player is like, Andrea. Wooded Foothills, gonna fetch.
Yes. Take 2.
Getting Sacred Foundry. I don't care about my life total. I'll happily go down to 17. Lava Spike you.
3 damage to my head. I go to 16. Can I see your lava spike? I love the stamped cards. So this is a stamped card from what?
Back in the days at Grand Prix and Pro Tours, if you draft cards, the judges stamp it to make sure. Yeah, like you know, you've done this many times as well.
But Kamigawa was a long time ago to stamp your cards.
Yeah, maybe I drafted this in 2005, and it was like part of my collection.
It wasn't
since.
very good, right?
In draft, not so much.
No.
In Modern, it fits the deck perfectly.
Take 3. I go to 16.
Go.
Sorry, after a fetch line, I go to 16.
Yes.
All right, I fetch down to 16, get a Naya Triumph,
Yep.
and take a turn. I don't hear what's it called. For me, it's a Naya Triumph.
Yeah, I just look at the domain count. Domain 3, that's all I...
Fetchland, go.
Yeah, so now Leyline Binding will just cost 1 mana if you want it. All good.
What's that? I don't know that card. I don't know what it does.
I'm sure. All right, fetch.
All right, 16 each.
Yep. And Eidolon of the Great Revel.
Ooh, great.
Do you have the Leyline? Go ahead.
I'll show you this card, Frank. Maybe you've never seen it before. I go to 15. I'll take Xander Lounge. And for 1 mana, I play this 6 mana card actually.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Take no damage.
Exactly.
Boom. Just the perfect answer for an
It's such a great answer to Eidolon of the Great Revel. It can come down as early as turn 2, and since its mana value is still 6, Eidolon of the Great Revel doesn't even trigger. Like whenever I have Eidolon of the Great Revel on the battlefield, I'm like mentally repeating trigger, trigger, trigger in my mind so that I don't forget. And then Andrea taps a mana, but yeah, it's a 6 mana spell.
All right. Tapped mountain, because it comes into play untapped if I have 3 other mountains. It's okay. No worries. Your turn. We're doing fine here. Like the meme that does this.
I'll take 2 more.
I am winning.
You are at a higher life total, but hopefully not for long. Another lava spike.
Yeah, not for long. 12.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, you say.
I'm out of creatures.
End of turn, I will tap your Sacred Foundry with ice.
Okay, this Fire and Ice play was really cool, not only because, well, Frank didn't do much and have this Fire and Ice, so I just want to draw land here, so I want to cycle it, but also because it shuts off the possibility of Franks to cast a Lightning Helix, a Searing Blades, a Searing Blood on my Dwarf. So next turn, with any fetch land off the top, plus, you know, the draw from Fire Ice, so I have 2 draws to draw fetch land to safely go Dwarven Mind, Creativity, get an Archon down, win the game.
Fire Ice stepping me out of interaction mana is a great play and one that you should always keep in mind when playing the burn deck. If I did not have Orvar in hand, I would just let it happen and keep Lightning Bolt up, because I would need to kill his creature that he is probably gonna get off of a fetch land in response to the Indomitable Creativity. But here, well, I do have Orvar in hand, so I actually want him to go for the creativity. So I'll just step myself out, Boros Charm him, and yeah, try to downplay it a little bit.
Ooh, tapping out?
I guess so. 4 damage to you.
I get an 8. Draw a card.
Yep. Alright, go ahead.
I go Arid Mesa. Fetch.
Yeah, I know what's coming.
I go to 7. I take a Dwarven Mine. I control 3 other mountains, so I got this nice little workman over here. But I'm gonna level it up. Pay for play Indomitable Creativity.
Yep.
Boom.
Resolves.
I've actually never resolved this card in paper before. It's like Cascade, right? I think so.
Yeah, just reveal from the top of the deck.
Until I reveal a creature or an artifact. And I skillfully built my deck to only hit Archon of Cruelty over here. So my dwarf dies.
So
I go to 10, you go to 11.
you draw a card and I have to discard
That's
a
true.
card.
I was only caring about the...
I'll discard Orvar.
No way!
1 copy the entire deck.
No way!
I'll copy the Archon.
No, I had so many options. Like, I could have taken such a safer route. Oh no, I can't believe it. Yeah.
So I'm gonna create a copy of your Archon.
No.
Right, this only triggers when I discard Orvar, but yeah, thank you for the trigger. Now I get the end of the battlefield trigger. You have to sacrifice a creature. I drain you, back at you.
I go to 7.
You discard a card and I draw a card.
Pass.
We'll add like a Swift Spear, a Lava Spike, a Lightning Bolt, and another Archon trigger.
Good games, good games.
The one-off.
I can't believe the way I lost.
I gotta say, I was pretty lucky to draw my one-off Orvar.
Like,
Sorry, Mengu.
I play so much creativity. I never got by Orvar. Because often whenever I play against Rakdos or Kiruga, I just deck that normally play Orvar in the sideboard, like I expect. Also, where my creatures in the sideboard are good, like I have Sundering Titan, Emrakul, and Iona, I do the switch. Against you, I thought about bringing in Iona, but it was like Path to Exile is very bad against Iona, whereas usually when you resolve one Archon, like in that game, I would have won. For sure.
Archon is definitely the best creature against me. Also with the end of the battlefield ability, like the life gain gets you out of burn range right away. If you would have boarded in the other creatures and hit them when I just had like a handful of burn spells, you might lose because you didn't hit Archon. So it's
for sure.
It's tricky.
One thing I regret though is that I had Teferi in hand. So with Teferi, the reason why I play Teferi is that it's a way to play around Orvar. Because what you do is you go...
Because you can bounce the token? Or?
True, that too. If I have Teferi, I go creativity. But I'm thinking you +1 Teferi, and then in your turn, with 5 mana, you go creativity for 2. You can't burn my creatures because I have Teferi. So you can't, like if I go fetch, get 2 Dwarf in play, you can't, I get 2 Archons, you discard like a land and an Orvar. You make me sacrifice an Archon, and then it's my turn, I attack, and you sacrifice Orvar.
Yeah,
because you already sacrificed the other creatures, so you only have Orvar in play. So that's one way, or just bounce, as you said, that too, that also works.
No, but like with the way you describe, you play creativity in my turn, so you get the first attack trigger with Archon and kill mine and end with like an Archon on the battlefield. Yeah,
exactly.
That sounds great.
This is all theory. In practice, I think, like, what was my life total there? 8. I fetched down to 7. So if I go to Fairy Pass, even with Lightning Bolt up, you have, how many cards you had? 3, 4? Like with draw step, I think you have 4, right?
Something like that.
So I could easily die to 3 burn there.
Yeah, it is. It would have been a better play against my hand specifically, or if you knew that I had like 4 Orvar in my sideboard or something like that, which would be a bit crazy. But when you don't know what I have, it's just so likely that I'm holding a bunch of burn spells, and if you delay the Archon and play it safe in the way you described, then you might easily lose to like burn spells.
Maybe if I had like a Flash Storm or a Blossoming Calm or Turn the Earth, like my sideboard, because I had a lot of sideboard against you. Like I go up to 4 Spell Pierce, 2 Fluster, 2 Blossoming Calm, 3 Turn the Earth. So it's a lot of ways to gain life or counter your spell.
Yeah.
It's just I didn't have anything in that hand. So at the beginning when I lost, I was like, I should have played around it with Teferi. But then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, nah, I feel like it was actually the right play to make.
I think so too. With the hand you had and the information you had, I think it would have made the same decision in your spot. Indeed, if you had one of those sideboard cards, that would have made sure that you wouldn't lose to just a bunch of burn spells. If you had that in combination with the Teferi angle, then that might have been like the super safe line, because then you can beat both burn and Orvar.
Yeah.
But here, you pretty much had to make a choice. And,
Honestly, I didn't even think about it. I was, if I had to bet, I was 100% sure that I would have won the game when I just cascaded. But yeah, the Orvar got me.
I mean, most burn decks don't have Orvar in the sideboard. I just put
Until now. If you're a burn player and you arrive to watch at this point, I think you're looking to on Cardmarket how much is an Orvar.
I only put one in because I saw that Indomitable Creativity was just the #1 deck in Modern as of recent weeks. Yeah. And when like a deck is so dominating, it can start to make sense to dedicate like one really specific sideboard slot for such a matchup. If Creativity would fall down a bit in popularity, then that Orvar would be gone as well.
For sure, I think Creativity will be popular, so yeah, I think it's very reasonable. I remember listening same exact explanation by Nassif, who was playing Creativity against Hammer, and the opponent was like super mega dead, and
and then he went for the creativity play, and he had one ore bar, and he won the game. You know, and you could play around it sometimes. I don't think this was one of the cases, but yeah.
I do think that the matchup might be a bit closer than we saw. Like here we played like 4 turns, and 4 turns might have been the fastest feature match ever here at Cardmarket.
Actually, how many spells did I cast? Because I played game 1, I played 1 bolt.
Yeah, that was it.
Game 2, I played Leyline Binding, Fire Ice, Creativity.
Well, 4 spells total.
I played 4 spells.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes in Magic you don't necessarily need to play 40 minutes to have fun. I think that, you know, it's fine that competitive Magic goes fast, then you have more time to just walk around, see your friends, and just relax for the next round. Ideally you win, but you know, sometimes it's like this.
Yeah, and like with aggro decks, the amount of turns you play are relatively small, but the turns have very high impact, right? You have a lot of impactful things that happen in that short amount of time. As for the matchup, like when I played at the Grand Open Qualifier in Amsterdam a few weeks ago, I did choose Burn specifically because of like Leyline Binding from Dominaria United, which encouraged many people to go for these painful fetch shock mana bases, and then I felt that Burn might be better positioned. And in this matchup in particular, you know, it seemed good in theory, but we also played like another match late last night at the hotel to prepare, where you did soundly beat me, even though I managed to get you with a hidden mode on Boros Charm once.
Indestructible mode on Boros Charm. You don't often play around that. Actually, in the post I made on Twitter about our match yesterday, people were like, "Wait, you play Ragavan in Burn?" Because I've never. I mean, it's unlikely. It's an unusual choice. Do you want to explain maybe why you chose to go for Ragavan?
True. Like I looked at the stock Burn lists in Modern, and they all played like 12 creatures. And I always felt that the best draws in Burn are when you have like, well, at least 1 creature or some repetitive damage source to start out the game with. And with just 12, there's only like was it like 81% chance to have a creature in your opening hand. And if you go up to 14, it increased to like 86%, which seemed like a much better number to me. So I wanted to add 2 creatures. And even though I don't think like Ragavan is specifically great in Burn, I don't care about the card advantage or anything. I was just looking for, well, like a 2-power, 1-mana creature that could still get haste in the late game, and Ragavan seemed like the best option. Okay,
while we have Frank Karsten, which is famous for writing article about statistics, if you have never checked it yet, on Channel Fireball they did the famous mana base. Like Karsten mana base is one of my articles, you know, like favorite websites that you have on your Google.
You have it bookmarked?
Google Chrome, yeah. So Karsten mana base.
I'm honored.
Always there. Some lists, whenever you don't play Persist in Creativity, often you see 3 Archon of Cruelty. But in my article as well in Channel Fireball, I wrote that I think it's much better to play 4, because there's a matchup, especially the slow one like Blue Eye Control or Omnath decks, where you don't want to draw like 2 Archons, because then you only have 1 left. They simply like Solitude it and you lose. But in these games we played, I always drew Archon, which is obviously like a mulligan. So what do you think is the weight between having a dead draw versus having more chances of your deck functioning? And also, like, what is the percentage of drawing an Archon if you have 4 in your hand versus if you have 3?
So the opening hand numbers I know roughly by head. Like if you play a 4 of in a 60 card deck, then the probability to draw at least 1 copy in your opening 7 is like 40%.
Okay, it's very high.
Yeah, that is considerable, and that will come up often.
For sure.
As also happened to you.
Yeah.
If you play 3 copies, then the probability to draw at least 1 would fall to like 32%.
Yeah, so in one of the, if you play 10 games, Archon, you draw it 4 times on average.
Yeah.
But 3 times, it's a lot. Like the difference is huge there.
There is a difference of like 1 game where you might get an additional awkward card in your opening hand.
Yeah.
My inclination would still be to just play 4 Archons in this deck, because like 1, you have Fable of the Mirror Breaker to discard it, so just having cardboard is useful.
That's true.
And I do think that there will be many games, perhaps not so much against Burn, but like in other more grindy matchups, where you could easily run out of Archons. I've also seen like plays where you Indomitable Creativity an Archon into another one just to get another trigger. All that does come up, and if you only have 3 Archons, you might not be able to like make those types of plays.
Yeah, I think in this
you will
match,
miss it.
I think in this matchup I was supposed to sideboard out 1 Archon. I think that actually in my article on Channel Fireball,
Yeah.
when I wrote my Cyber plan, I sided out 1 Archon.
That makes sense.
I didn't do it this time. I should have done it, but yeah. You know, all of this matters. Testing and experience all matters. Cyber guide also matters because I should have checked my own cyber guide for this video, but I hope Cardmarket doesn't get angry about it.
Nah, you're good.
All right, thank you so much for watching. There's gonna be more of me and Frank in the upcoming videos, weeks. I'm here for a while here in Berlin. It's super cool. I'm excited to play some more Magic with you and with the other guys. Thank you for watching.
See you in the next video.